Sora 2's new AI video model has been completely dominating the internet in the past week, and it's for a very clear reason. It's because it completely changed the way that we are now able to make videos using AI just by giving it text or an image. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly everything that you have to know about it, but most importantly, how you can use this in building 3 different types of automations and AI agents inside of n8n. And in case we haven't met, my name is Michele, and over the past 12 months, I've helped over 40 businesses implement these sort of AI solutions and taught over 20,000 people in the process, all starting with zero technical knowledge. I'm going to show you everything step by step, and if you stick around until the end, I'll even give you the whole blueprint for free. With that being said, let's dive in. All right, so here in n8n, I have 3 different examples that we can use when building with Sora 2's new model. First one is text to video, so taking some sort of words and turning that into an actual video. The second one is image to video, which is usually good for UGC ads. So you have some sort of image of a product, then you say, hey, can you make a video about someone holding that product or marketing that product, and it makes it. And then lastly, we made a text to video AI agent, but the only difference is that now we have an AI agent that improves the prompts that we give it and then basically makes the video. All right, so I'm just going to run this and show you exactly the outcome, and then we can get on to actually setting it up step by step. So what it's doing right now is that it took the prompt that we had here, which is a young woman in a co-working space standing in front of her laptop and so on. And then what it did is that now it called. So it sent a signal to our software that I'll show you exactly how to set it up. And it said, hey, can you make a video about this? Right, using the text. And so what it told us is that it's successful, and it gave us this task ID. Now the task ID is something that we now give to the next request saying, hey, are you guys done with the actual video? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? In this case, you can see the status is generating. And so what we're doing here is something that's called polling. So polling just means that we give the task to an employee. Then we check back every 10 seconds with that employee and saying, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? And if it's done, then we get the video URL. If it's not done, then we wait and we loop over and over again. It's sort of like a continuous loop that we can have, which is a very good way of handling these sort of workflows because it allows us to be able to check in every single time. And I'll catch you when it's finished. All right, so it just finished after looping 17 times. So basically it asked the server whether it finished making the video 17 times. And if it didn't, again, loop, loop, and loop until it's finished. And here we have the video link. So if I go here, well, this is actually a file. So if I paste this, I can see that I have a file here, and the video is this one here.
All week, and it's been such a game changer. The interface is cleaner, the effects look faster, and the autocut is unreal. Sora 2 is now available on Kie.ai, making it easier than ever to create amazing things.
So you got to see the exact video, and again, it's completely insane. And we have 2 more examples here, the image to video and the AI prompt agent, but I'll go through them step by step as we get into the next workflow. All right, so the first step is actually connecting n8n to Sora 2. How are we able, through our automations, to be able to use this model? Well, in this case, it isn't like ChatGPT that you can natively have it here where we go OpenAI, right? Or Claude. It's something different, right? We have to use some sort of server, so some sort of like midman to be able to access it. And the midman in this case is Kie.api or Kie.ai in this case. And Kie.ai has access to a lot of models, and we can access those models just by connecting ourselves here. And just by connecting ourselves to OpenRouter, we're able to access all these different softwares. And if you have no clue what I just said, then check out this video up here. But if you go here, all you have to do is get started on the top. Make sure you can log in with your email. Once you log in, you get introduced to this dashboard right here. And if I go to billing here, I can see that as a new account, I actually have, well, I have about 80 credits, right? But I just used them, so I only have 50. You could also easily top up $5, which is 1,000 credits, which will last you quite a long time, which is why we use this software because it's very, very cheap compared to other models. But just know that as a free account, you still get 80 credits, which allows you to do, I think, 5 or 6 videos. Now, if I go to model markets, I can now search for Sora 2, right? And we get introduced to this. Now, I've tried both Sora 2 Pro and Sora 2. It isn't much of a difference where it actually makes sense for us to use this. So we can go to Sora 2, try it. Now, when we get on this page, we're introduced to this dashboard right here. Now, this is very, very simple when you break it down, because what it tells us is that we have different models. And the models is the thing that allows us to be able to take the action. So the first thing is text to video, which means that we turn some sort of words into an actual video. The second one is image to video. So an image turns into a video. Sora 2 Pro, which is the upgraded version of this, same thing here. Sora watermark remover. So if you have some sort of video that has a watermark, which is some sort of like thing that covers the actual image, it can remove it. And Sora 2 storyboard, I believe that it's something that allows us to be able to make stories, right? By having different scenes. which is great. Let me just add this to Sora 2 text to video. I'm going to scroll down and show you exactly why we use Sora 2 in the first place. So if I go here, I can actually compare the pricing of Kie.ai versus OpenAI versus File.ai. So these are different softwares that we use to be able to host different models. And as you can see here, Kie.ai provides Sora 2's API and Sora 2 Pro API at more than 60% lower cost than OpenAI and File.ai, making it unreasonable for us not to use it. And so you can go through this quick table, but basically just know that we use the software because it's much cheaper for us on an API version. Because previously, to be able to make videos using OpenAI or File.ai, it would have been really expensive, right? But obviously with technology getting better and better, everything gets cheaper, which is why we have softwares like these. Okay, so now the question becomes, how do we connect n8n? So if I go to the API here, we can see that we have two different endpoints. So these are two different things that we have to do in order to make the video. The first one is create a task, and the second one is query a task. Now, the best way to explain this is, let's say you have an employee going into a job, right? And the boss tells her, hey, can you do this accounting stuff for us? Can you do this task for us? Which takes about 2-3 hours. Now, this is basically the command. This is the boss telling the actual employee, do this, right? But the employee didn't finish it. And so what we do now is query the task, which is asking the employee, hey, have you done it? To make sure that we're querying, we're asking if they finished. And so if they did, then if it's successful, then we get the actual video. Now, if I go to n8n here, if I go to the actual adding a next step, and I go to Kie.ai, I actually can't find it. Now, for the times that we don't find the actual app integrated within the software, the no-code software, we have to use this node right here, which is an HTTP node. Now, if this is the first time that you see this, I fully recommend you stop this video and you watch the video up here because it will give you the actual fundamentals of what this is. But if I go here to HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, see, we got it after a lot of tries, we have this here. Now, the way that we had this set up is that we have the prompt, which in this case is just a edit node, right? Video prompt, and then the prompt will be this, just text, right? Saying a young woman is in a modern co-working space, standing in front of her laptop, doing this, doing that. She announces Sora 2 is now available on Kie.ai, making it easier than ever to create amazing videos, which is exactly what you saw on the video. And so this being the prompt, now we have to give it to the first actual endpoint, which is create a task. And so if I go here, if I go down below, I believe that we can find something called a curl. Now, a curl, in case you don't know what it is just a request. Like, what is the thing that we have to give to the platform for us to be able to make this happen? Now, the scary thing is that you will look at this and for the first time and see, what the fuck is this, right? Because it's code. But if you can just copy this and you go back to n8n and you go back to this node, all you have to do is actually just press this button, import curl, and you paste this. When you press import, this will now add everything in the right place, right? It's basically setting up everything for you. Now, the only thing you have to do is, the only first thing you have to do is add your API key. Now, the API key is sort of like a password that says, hey, to n8n, here's my account, you can use it. Now, as I mentioned, we do have a free version, so you can use that. And you can find the API key by going to API key on the left-hand side, and you have this here. All you have to do is press copy, bring it back here, and you can copy this here. Now, there's one trick that we actually use, because if you have to put the authorization and the API key for every single node here, and here, and here, and here, and here, then it gets very, very repetitive. And so what we do here is, instead of adding the authorization and barrier here, I just said here like 50 times, you can go to authentication, go to generic credential type, go to header auth, and we're basically creating a new credential. I can call this Kie.ai test n8n. And we're basically giving the predefined username and password. So the next time we don't have to manually do it. And so here I can say authorization, because that is the name of the actual thing. That is the sort of like the key, which is what we call. And then the password is bearer and the API key as well. And when you press save, now when you make a new HTTP node, you can delete this and just use the Kie.ai test n8n, which will replace that one. Just a quick tip. All right, so with that said, now we have the authorization, we have the URL, which is, again, what is the thing that we're doing? The post, which is a request, again, because we're sending a task, we're telling, hey, do it. Then we have the body. Now, the body is arguably the most important thing. Now, I'm going to jump on to the other one that I made here, because it's the exact same one. And I can go down to JSON, the body, I can full screen, and I can see that now we're telling it, hey, here's the model, here's the input, which is a prompt, here's the aspect ratio, landscape, end frames, 10, remove watermark, true. So these are all different sort of characteristics about the video that we tell Sora to do. But in this case, the prompt is something that we added on a edit node, right? Edit node is just a node that we use. Again, a node is just a square, but it's something that we use to store data. So in this case, the video prompt is this. And we're basically sending the video prompt to the actual HTTP, right? And so if we go here, we can see that we have this dynamic variable because it changes every single time based on what we have in the previous step that it uses to be able to get the prompt, get the input, and then make the video. And as you can see, when it runs, it gives us the output, which is this code 200. 200 just means successful. And then MSG just says, hey, what is the status? Successful. And the data now is giving us the task ID and record ID. Now, the main thing you have to understand is the task ID. Why? Because like I mentioned before, when it comes to the actual API, and you can leave everything else alone here, we have two different things, right? We have create a task and create a task. And so when we create a task, the output is giving us the task ID, which is the action that the employee needs to do, the ID of that action. And then every single time we ask the server, hey, are you finished with the action? Are you finished with the action? Are you finished? Until it actually gives us the output, which is the URL of the video. And so I'll go back here. I can see that now this runs. Let me just pin this. I'm just pinning this so I don't have to run this again. And I'm just pressing P on my keyboard. And now this is where we get to the actual interesting thing, right? Which is the polling sort of feedback loop. The first part, let me delete this, is adding a wait node. Now the wait node is just 10 seconds, which gives us a reasonable amount of time for us to keep asking. 10 seconds is fine. And then we have the second HTTP node, which is the get video. If I go inside, all you really have to do is just go back here to create task and go down here. Where is it? Well, I mean, just this really. Curl. So copy this and then go here, import curl, and then paste this and press this button and it will put it all here. And now all we have to do is we have to connect our account. So Kie.ai, use the same one that we had before, or you can simply put authorization bearer API key. And now we have the task ID, which is the only parameter, it's the only thing that we have to give to the actual request for it to know, hey, he's asking us about this exact task. And so the value in this case would be the one here, text to video task ID. Now, when we run this, it gives us this output right here. And there's a ton of stuff here that you probably shouldn't even see because they don't really make much sense. Like this, result JSON, parameters, all that stuff is just fancy stuff that's there because it needs to be there. But only look at this here, the state. Now, the state is the status. It's saying, hey, here's where it's at. Now, as I showed you before, the state, when it was running, it was actually generating, right? The state was generating. And so what we do here is we basically do a, is this true or not? No. So basically we're asking a question. We're saying, is the status success? If it's true, then we get the actual video URL. If it's false, then this is where we drag this here all the way back. We wait, we ask, we wait, we ask until it's true. And so this gives us the ability for the software to actually take its own time to do the actual video. And so that's why we give it the state equals success. Now this variable right here, you can find here, state, and that's why we ask the question. Now right there is basically how you set up the workflow with Kie.ai to n8n using the HTTP nodes. All right, the second workflow is an image to video. So we looked at how we can give text to the actual model and actually create a video. Now let's do image to video. Now image to video can really be applied to anything, but the first thing that comes to mind is UGC. So UGC, in case you don't know, is there's a lot of e-commerce sites that sell little products like hair, gel, whatever it is. And now the thing that's really going viral is these UGC creators, these people who take videos saying, hey, look, I just bought this is really cool, and XYZ. And they make a video so it goes viral. And so with that said, we're now able to give the image of a product to this model and then the actual description of the person. And then it will merge these two to make a full video of someone talking about the product, right? Just like a video that you post on Instagram. So the first that we have to do is actually generating the image. If I go here, I can see that the image I have is a bottle. And the most important thing here is that we actually publicize the image. What this means is that an image from your desktop that you have normally wouldn't work just because the image URL has to be accessible to the whole world. So for example, if you go here to this URL, if you just like take a screenshot and copy it in your own sort of desktop, you'll be able to access this because it's publicly accessible to everyone. But if you don't have this, then what you have to do is go to a platform called imagekit.com or .io. You'll get here, and this will turn an image into a public URL. If I go to dashboard here, so make an account, it's completely free. You can go to media library, and then right here, you can see I have different images. And if you press new, you press file upload, and you give the file itself that you want, which is, let's say, this one. Then you can upload it and you can get a URL right here that you can copy and bring back to the image URL here. Boom. And now you can use this as an input. The next part is a prompt. So again, this is another prompt that we made. And again, I'll show you exactly how you can get the whole blueprint for free. So don't worry. But also an alternative, just so you know, you can screenshot this, give it a ChatGPT and say, hey, can you transcribe this? Can you extract the text? And you can copy it for yourself. And I said, hey, make a realistic UGC-style video. Again, it stands for user-generated content, showing a young woman with curly hair walking outdoors, holding the product shown in the reference image. Nothing about the product in the reference image should be altered. It must appear exactly as provided. So what we basically say is, hey, there's a woman, there's a product, put them together and put some more energy and say you love it. That is the other input. And finally, we have image to video. Now, if I go to Kie.ai and I go up, now we have this right here, which is image to video. And same exact concept, literally the exact same. The only difference is that we have to change the body. So you have to copy this, bring it back to n8n, go to the HTTP, which is connected to the next node, and then you can import the curl here. Basically doing the exact same thing as we did before. Now, once you connected it, all you have to do is make sure that you have the editor auth that we made before. And for the actual JSON, so if I actually execute this here, and I pin this, execute this as well, and I also pin this, if I go here, I can see that the body is image to video, and the prompt in this case is the word video prompt. And we also give it the input of an image URL, which in this case you can find right here. So image URL right here and the video prompt right here. And this is what it uses to then be able to make the video. Now I'm going to run this from start to the end so you can see exactly how it works. Let me pull this from down here. I'm going to press execute workflow. What this will now do is use the exact same concept as we did before, which is the polling. So it's creating the task, then it's asking, hey, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Until it's actually finished. And I'm going to catch you when it's finished. Now, as you can see, like before, if I go inside, I can see that the status is generating. And that's basically how it works, because if the status is not successful, then it goes to false because it's false, right? This is not success until we get to a point where it goes to the true branch. And something like this could realistically take about 5 minutes. I mean, it has been 5 minutes since I started this, and that's what you can realistically expect, especially with the quality of output that we get. All right, so it just finished here. If I go to the video, and this took about 8 minutes, a bit longer than expected, and I go full screen, the first thing I see is a shampoo bottle, which is just a glitch that they have to fix.
I absolutely love this curl cream. It keeps my hair bouncy, curly, and light all day long. You absolutely have to try it.
I mean, come on, like that is just insane. Like look at the lighting, look at the way she moves, the way she's talking. Look, the bottle itself is literally exactly like I gave it. That's insane. And she just looks real. For those of you who don't know what UGC is, they literally have agencies that hire out real people to do this, right? Now AI can do it for a fraction of a cost and at 10 times the speed, right? Especially because someone needs to either look pretty, be outside, be in a nice place, and speak, right? And have an editor edit this and making sure that everything is good. There's so much production that comes with it. And just by giving it a good prompt, which is why prompting in 2025 ahead of 2026 is a good skill to learn, is great, right? Because now you're able to make this. So that is the second example where we give it an image of something and a prompt of something else, and then we merge them and it makes a full UGC ads type video. And lastly, we have the AI prompt agent. It's still text to video, but the only difference here is that we have an AI agent in the middle. And if I go full screen, this is a prompt that makes the actual prompt a lot better, right? And we say AI video prompt, UGC outdoor scene, a realistic, natural looking video in UGC, user generated content, style feature in Mediterranean features and glow skin. She's casually dressed in light. So it basically describes the actual person and the environment itself. And we give it the input, which is the prompt, which again, this one here. A young woman in a modern co-working space, standing in front of her laptop. And this is the exact same prompt that we gave it here in our first example. And so now I'm going to show you that just by adding this step right here, it makes the actual video that much better. So I'm going to run this from scratch. And again, we're going to compare the two different videos because they're in the exact same prompt to start. We can see that I made a prompt, and the prompt is very, very large, hence why, and very detailed as well. And you will see all the different angles and more stuff that it adds to the video. And whilst this is running, because I'm assuming it's going to run for the next 5 to 10 minutes, this model right here basically just created a whole new market, a whole new opportunity for new agencies coming into the space and having really good prompts and offering that to e-commerce shops for them to sell their products using your AGC videos, right? And if you're able to use the software to be able to create these, it just creates a massive opportunity because you can do it at literally a fraction of the cost and at 10 times the speed. And if you match those, that is just really, really crazy. All right, so it just finished running right here. And I'm kind of surprised at how fast it was, just because the other ones took a bit longer. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna copy the URL. I'm gonna get this file.
Absolutely love this curl cream. It keeps my hair bouncy, curly, and light all day long. You absolutely have to try it.
As you can see, the quality of the video was better just because we had a better prompt, right? Which you got from the AI agent. Now, again, all of this depends on the input. Shit in, shit out, right? That's literally what it is. If you literally give a prompt that is low quality to something that needs to make a video, it will make a bad video. Now, lucky enough, we have the models which are good enough to be able to even have a kind of bad prompt as an input, and it will create something decent. But at the same time, the better the prompt, the better the actual output. And just like this model came out now, in the next 2-3 months, even 1 month with the way things are going, I'm gonna be sure that there's gonna be a new model that comes out, it's gonna change the world, revolutionary, and we'll be back here, right? But just know that now we have the opportunity in this market right here to generate videos, to be able to create these things at such a high quality, at such a high speed, at such a low cost. Now I'm gonna leave the full blueprint in the second link down below, where you can go to my school community, you can go to the classroom section, go to the templates vault, and you will see the most recent video. So let's say is the voice agent, for example. In this case, it would be this one. You can press download n8n automation blueprint. And if you have no clue how to import it into your own account, then you also have the tutorial here. And disclaimer here, you can apply, but not everyone gets in. So please, please, please put some thoughts into your answers. All right, so there is the overview of Sora 2 and how you can use it within your automations in n8n. And if you want to dive deeper into n8n, then check out this video up here, where I go through a 12-hour tutorial where I take you from a real beginner in AI automation in n8n to a master building automations. With that being said, I hope you found value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.